Hello everyone, and welcome to another video in our series. So today we're going to be talking about division, and this is the very last operation we're going to be talking about. We've talked about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and now we want to just spend a bit of time talking about division here. So what do we mean when we divide things? So say I have 8. Let's say these are coins, for example. Let's say I have 8 coins and I'm looking to divide these. Now, what we mean by division is splitting a number up into equal pieces. So, for example, if we were to take these 8 coins and we wanted to divide this by 2. This symbol here that I've written, this is our division symbol. So this is our last operation we're talking about here. And when I divide things, there's a couple of things I want to consider. Now, the first thing I want to consider is my number here, my total being divided. So the order of these two numbers matters because the first one is the number that's being divided. And we have a special name for this. Whoops. We call this the dividend. Okay? We have this number and we have our division symbol that tells us we're splitting this up into equal bits. And the number here is the number or the size of the equal groups. So how many equal groups we're dividing this number by. So let's write that here. So size of the equal groups. And we have a special name for this one. We call this the divisor. So I'm going to write that in brackets here. So this just tells us if I split this number 8, I want to split it into 2 equal parts. Now, I can think of my little coins here that I've drawn. Say I wanted to split this in half. Well, what if I draw a line just directly through these here? A line just cutting in half, and this separates my my 8 coins. And you can see on either side of this line, I have 2 equal groups. That's this number here. I've split this 8 up into 2 equal groups. Now all we have to do is just count how many coins we have in each group. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we divide 8 by 2, we get 4. Now, it's important to state that when we're dividing here, we always want to split this up into equal parts. That's the essence of what we do when we divide. So it's pretty much just we take one number and we split it by into a certain amount of groups. Now you got to remember this has close ties to multiplication. This is kind of the opposite operation to multiplication because we talked about groups there as well. For example, here, if we wanted to multiply these two, or all of these things and find what this would be, well, we have 2 and we have 4 groups of 2. Division just says, all right, well, when I have my total and I split this up into a certain amount of equal groups, how many equal numbers am I getting in each of those groups? How many numbers do I get there? Now, what if we took this same question and we said, let's copy and paste this. So let's say I took this same thing. If it will paste. Here we go. So I took the same thing and okay, I'm instead going to look at this same group of 8, but however, now I'm splitting it up. I want to find what 8 divided by 2 is. Sorry, 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4. So I have my dividend, it's still 8, and I'm dividing it by my divisor, 4. So this tells me I want to have 4 equal groups here. So I can show this by splitting my group of 8 into 4 sections. So why don't I draw some lines through here? And hopefully you can see I've split this into 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections or groups. And I want to see, well, how many of my coins in this case are in each group. And you can clearly see here we have 2 in each group. This is what we mean when we divide. So 8 divided by 4, if I want to split 8 into 4 equal groups, that will give me 2. Now, another way people like to think of division as well is, and it gets you to the same answer, is thinking about how many times does the divisor, so this one, go into my dividend. That's another way we can look at it. So if we do maybe one more example, and I'll see if I don't have it here. That's okay. If I draw up another number, so let's say here I will draw up, let's say 12 coins. Now, I want to find out what is 12 divided by 3. So we can think of this as well in terms of, okay, well, we can split this into 3 equal parts. We can go 1, 2, 3, and then we just count. But if we want to go through it in the way we just spoke about, let's ask ourselves, all right, we'll work backwards a little bit. We'll say, how many times does 3 go into 12? That's another way we can think of division. So let's think of that as, okay, how many times does 3 go into 12? How many 3s make up 12? So I'm going to say, well, I have one group of 3, another group of 3, another group of 3, and one final group of 3. So how many times does each of these groups, so say one of these, how many times does this go into 12? Well, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 12 divided by 3 is going to give me 4. These are 2 different ways we can think of division. One being how many equal groups I can split, say, 12 up into. If I split this into, 3 equal groups, how many will be in each group? But I can also think of this as how many times does 3 go into 12? We're going to get the same answer. So hopefully this isn't the first time you guys have seen this type of division, but just reintroducing you to it to hopefully give you some of the intuition when we think about how to proceed from this into some harder questions. And thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.